Alright, cool. So, yeah, the arcade version has been having problems with the player card that people use when they go to these different machines to keep track of their battle record. And the problem is pretty much when they go to a different machine or to a different arcade, it has like a separate record. So instead of it keeping it all on track, like tracking it all like as one single record, it's like multiple different records. So, you know, they said they're working on a fix for that, and that should be coming soon. But also, guys, keep in mind that that is pretty much just like an arcade operation issue that shouldn't really impact, you know, the console version of the game or slow that down. I hope it doesn't, you know, but I just wanted to put that out there. Alright, so I don't know if you guys have heard, but I have, like, over the past couple of weeks or so, I've seen that there have been high-level players who, you know, like attend tournaments on a regular basis, and they aren't happy with how the Arc Revo World Tour has been handled. They said pretty much that Arc did a poor job of hyping it up, and, you know, well, I can say that I personally watch a tournament if I am interested in you know, whoever's going to be playing there, or, you know, if some team is going to be playing there, different characters. If I heard, that they have like a variety of different characters, whatever, yes, I will definitely watch it. You know, if I have the time to. But apparently, you know, these people here who are attending the tournaments on a regular basis, you know, they would know much better than I do if they're being handled well or not, and they're saying that they're not. In terms of, I guess, you know, hyping it up, or I don't know if it's relating to viewership or attendance. I'm not sure, but whatever the problem is, I hope that they would tell Arc how they can address that. Another thing too, there are plenty of people that compare this game to Fighters, in terms of like, you know, like, oh hey, at EVO, you know, Fighters doesn't have the best of attendance, but BBTAG, you know, doesn't have that good of attendance either, but people will complain about BBTAG, but not Fighters. The thing is this, they're on two completely different paths from what I can tell here. Fighters has its own foundation. You know, it's a solid game. I did spend a good amount of time playing that game. I know I complain about the lack of playstyle variety in Fighters, but as a game, it's solid. It has way more content and modes than BBTAG does, without a doubt. And in my opinion, Fighters has a solid foundation, but it needs revisions to its mechanics and to, you know, to the roster to add some playstyle variety. Maybe give, like, each of the characters an extra special or two so that they're unique, because as it is now, it's literally rushed down the game, and the rushed downiest characters are, like, the best characters in the game. Look at Videl, look at Bardock. Just saying. You know, but if you look at BBTAG, BBTAG is a platform that needs to be built on, you know, because it doesn't yet have a solid foundation. You know, BBTAG needs to have a complete roster that has the missing characters, you know, and more offline content. Those are the two big things that need to be addressed. I think that the meta, we'll have to wait and see how the meta changes when the patch does come to console. That was the other thing that needed to be addressed. Cross combo, active switch invul, you know, Gordeau being invincible if he does the frame 1 active switch, and, you know, whatever else. It looks like a good amount of that's being addressed with the patch, so we'll just have to wait for the patch. But yeah, for Fighters, if Fighters, I'm sorry, oh wait, no, yeah, if Fighters did get any kind of update or anything, I see it getting a revision next year, you know, and getting some tweaked mechanics and everything, getting like a bigger overhaul to the game, than what I see BBTAG getting in the future. Like, I could see there being like a Fighters Rev 2, or you know, Dragon Ball Super Fighters, you know, something along those lines, right? Yo, Midnaz, what's up? But for BBTAG, I think that, you know, BBTAG would probably just have, like, an updated release of the game with the new characters that we have access to in this, you know, for DLC, in the base version here of the game. Except with this new version, you know, they could have a new one come out. It could be, you know, again, priced at $50, but have all the DLC all the major characters that people expected for the game to have, they could have that on disc, so it's, you know, right there and convenient out of the box. I could see that happening, but like I said, BBTAG and Fighters are on completely different paths at this point, so it doesn't, you know, there's little to do in terms of like comparing the two games to each other as games. That's pretty much the point that I wanted to make here. Now, I've seen that some people, you know, some people still have been saying that we won't get another announcement until EVO. But until someone can explain to me how we can have more Arcana Heart characters coming at the same time that we have, you know, 6 Fate characters, you know, that are going to be coming, you know, in the character packs, you know, it doesn't make sense to me that we don't have any announcements between now and EVO, and then EVO comes, and then we start getting character packs with Arcana Heart characters and 6 Fate characters in the same pack. That doesn't make sense to me, because there's too many current characters from, you know, from the games that they already have assets for that we don't have yet. I don't, you know, if someone could explain how they think that would work, you know, then that would be great. The way that I see it is that they would have to change the structure of their character packs for that to be the case, or Arcana Heart characters would replace the Uni characters. But like I've mentioned before, Uni at the moment still has a few highly demanded characters, and if they're not added, then I'm sure there's going to be a lot of backlash. And even then, even if they were announced, right, all at EVO, that's too much to announce at EVO, you know, at once, in my opinion. And then that would be too much that's releasing in a short period of time. There's 5 characters from the Unicast left from this point on: Enkidu, Nanase, Phonon, Wagner, and Hilda. And if they're all coming, and they all follow the same pattern of 4 characters per pack that we see with this next pack that's coming, that means that there's a minimum of 20 more characters that are going to be coming in this season. And that's not even including the 6 Fate reveal at EVO. So, or any standalone guest characters. And that's why that doesn't make sense to me. You know, so if anyone who has that theory or anything, if anyone could explain that to me, that would be great, just so like I can understand what makes you believe that that would be the case. Also, not to mention that out of the remaining Uni characters, the 3 most popular ones, if I remember correctly, are Nanase, Wagner, and Hilda. And if they're not added in the game, I'm sure that people will be pissed off. I'm completely sure about that. Let me double check here. Great. My mistake, man. There would be 6 Uni characters. Byakuya. I don't know how I missed him. Because I know Chaos. Chaos is the puppet character, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I apologize. So, there will be 6 characters. There's 6 characters missing from Uni, including Byakuya. And then, of course, that means that there's a minimum of 24 characters coming in this season. Then, if it's really like, oh, well, we're gonna finish off the Unicast and then replace them with Arcana Heart characters. I mean, it just doesn't. There's just so many things that aren't clear with the idea of us not getting another announcement until EVO. That's just a lot that will be held off until then. And then from a business standpoint, it doesn't really make sense to hold off that much for that long and to try to, you know, put that much out at once. It really doesn't. Let's see here. Great. What I was saying was that, no, like, there will be an updated BBTAG that it's updated on disc, as in, on disc, they get, for the most part, everything that we have now, or everything that we have whenever it comes out. That includes the base game, the current version of the game, the current update, and, you know, the characters that, you know, have been out, you know, the hype characters. You know, hopefully by then, you know, we have the hype characters in the game, you know, then they can be there on disc. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I meant when I said an updated version. It won't be a new version of the game. We're good. We'd have everything, you know, we'd have access to everything. It's just that for convenience purposes, when people buy the game new, they'd have everything on the disc. That was the point that I was making, man. So yeah. Alright, cool. Let me just double check here. Yeah. But yeah, my bad for getting Byakuya there. Because yeah, Chaos is the puppet character. From what they said, they're not gonna add any puppet characters. They don't have any plans to. But yeah, Byakuya, you know, Byakuya is a possibility too. But yeah, I just don't see how they couldn't make an announcement between now and EVO, and with everything that people are waiting for. You know, I personally don't see it. But oh, the other thing too, I did not mention this. I didn't mention this sooner. This is something that stuck out to me as soon as it was announced at EVO Japan, but I did not want to talk about it because I didn't want anyone to, you know, potentially get excited over it or anything. Now, I'm just pointing this out because I think that this is a bad marketing mistake on ARC's part here. If you guys remember that trailer from EVO Japan, at the very end they revealed, or they teased, the sixth fate, and what they said was, or at the very end there, the text that was under there at the bottom was, it said something along the lines of, "It's now on the way, coming soon," right? To say it is now on the way, I mean, that's what they say when they reveal characters. You know, they reveal Naoto Kurogane, they reveal Seth, and then it's like, you know, Naoto is now on the way. It really, you know, and to have that at the end of the character trailers, it kind of suggested that the sixth fate would be coming sooner than the fifth fate did. And I think that that's a mistake on their part, because again, I don't think that they're going to reveal the sixth fate before EVO, in which case it's still 6 months, and there's no point in them wording it like that. So I think that they should not have worded it like that. I think they just need to be clear about things like that, you know, to use the same wording that you use for characters that are, you know, about to come out, what, in like a couple of weeks or so, as you would something that's coming out 3 months from now. I think that that's a problem. That's a problem. And I think they should have been clear about it. But yeah. Moving on, I think that even if the data mine leaks for the characters, you know, are hype, if it's all the hype characters, I think that if ARC is silent until EVO, it'll kill the momentum, and that some of the player base will definitely leave. Most likely a lot of the people who had the game ever since like around launch and have been waiting for a certain character, you know, the favorite character to show up. You know, I could see a good amount of the player base leaving, but of course, I do still think that the majority of the player base would stay if the characters leaked and it was everyone, it was the characters that everyone's been waiting for up until this point. Also, I think that people who, if they're quiet though, I think that people who were looking to get this game and, you know, but they didn't have their character in there, if they wait until EVO to make any more announcements, I think that by then they would have dismissed the game or forgotten about it completely. You know, just because, you know, right now there's a general vibe of discontent surrounding the game. Let me check the comments really quick here. Yo, Gray, that's what I mean, man. Right. Well, no. I mean, usually, like, last year when they said coming soon, we had characters that were, you know, coming within, like... Well, we knew when the game was coming out, and we had some dates for when those packs were going to be coming out. And, you know, they came out pretty much, like, 2 weeks between each other, if I remember correctly. But, yeah, for them to have said coming soon for both those characters that we're getting in a couple of weeks, and to have said coming soon, and is now on the way for the sixth fate, I think that's the marketing error right there, because it suggests that they're coming close to each other. They're using the same wording, you know? Yo, Kirito, what's up? Yo, Star, what's up, man? Let me see. Yo, Kirito, it's your birthday, man. Happy birthday, dude. Hope you have a good one. Alright. Okay. Alright, cool. So, the thing is, I don't know if you guys... I know I've mentioned it on some of my other earlier streams, but right now, Arc kind of has a feedback loop relating to BBTAG. You know, they parade the game around to all of these different events. People see the game. People either buy the game because they really like the gameplay, or, you know, people are interested, but they want to see what the player base is like, or when their favorite character is coming, you know. So usually they come to the subreddit, Discord, or, you know, the forums, you know, whatever, and they ask about their character. Hey, when's Rise coming? When's Adachi coming? When's Terumi? When's Hilda? You know, when is insert important character here, pretty much. And no one can give them any kind of straightforward answer at all. No one can even give them an idea of an answer at this point, because we don't know anything. And that's because there's no roadmap that's been laid out for BBTAG yet. You know, and if they come and they see there's a general vibe of discontent surrounding the game, you know, maybe they'll choose to wait a little bit longer to see if their character is announced, or if they're put off from how they see that the game has been mishandled up to this point, you know, then they could just forget the game. You know, that's possible too. And the thing is, if the game keeps going in this cycle between now and EVO without having a clear roadmap, then literally Arc is shooting themselves in the foot while at the same time trying to put a bandage on. And I think that that's idiotic. Even if the data mine reveals all the hype characters, some people just won't believe it just because, you know, it's a data mine, it's not their official word. They'll say things like, you know, look at Senran Kagura. Senran Kagura, quote-unquote, leaked from the data mine last year, and it's not here yet. Because I told you guys, I still believe that it's likely that they're going to come at some point, you know. But, you know, people will say, hey, look at that, they're not even here. The data mine doesn't even have to mean anything, you know. And then, you know, look at MK11. Their DLC leaked. And now they even have text for, you know, these leaked characters and their specific character interactions, and some people still don't believe it's real, even with all that evidence being there. So I think that even if they do leak, and even if it's fully believable for people who understand how leaks work, you know, if Arc doesn't make any announcement between now and EVO, the game will peak when the patch comes out. It'll reach a peak that it hasn't been at for a long time, and it will slowly decline leading into EVO, and more than likely, BBTAG will have a poor showing this year at EVO compared to last year at EVO. You know, with most likely a lower viewer count than last year. And even if their announcement at EVO is like crazy hype, if the game performed poorly at EVO, it most likely won't make it to EVO 2020 because there's just been way too many problems with it regarding the marketing and the PR and, you know, just the general vibe towards the game. There's just been too many problems surrounding it. And I'm sure that the people that run EVO don't want that. They don't want to deal with that. I'm sure that they don't want to deal with that, dude. Especially when Arc is going to be making games for like other fighting games, Grand Blue Fantasy. You know, Persona 5 Arena is a thing. I don't know if it would be out by next year's EVO. Who knows? But Fantasy Versus is definitely going to be out. It'll be out this year. If they wanted to shake it up, if they wanted the first 3D arena fighting game there at Main Stage EVO, you have the choice of Kill or Kill If. You know, just throwing it out there. You know, maybe core values might stop that, but just throwing it out there. It's a possibility. But anyway, any of those games can take BBTAG's spot next year. Now, the thing is this, they're on a time frame because they already have the patch out, the arcade, you know, version and everything, out in Japan. but we don't have it here on console. We're still waiting for it on console. They have to give us, you know, some kind of details relating to the patch. And I think if they want to secure any kind of loyalty from their current player base, they need to give us Season 2 details of some kind this month. And I think that if they are going to make an announcement for a new pack, it would be announced by the end of next month. And I do believe that if they fail to do that, you know, to give us a roadmap for the game, that, you know, BBTAG will suffer and it will be on its way out. It might be a slow death. Maybe it just won't be at EVO next year, but it'll still be alive. But I think that depending on how things go this year, depending on how things go in the next few months leading up to EVO, that's going to set the tone for, like, a good part of the rest of this game's life, in my opinion. And honestly, it just doesn't make any sense to me how simple it is to save the game, because all they have to do is just, you know, reveal some of the things that people have been asking for. At this point, I think even if they mentioned also some single-player modes, you know, even if they don't have anything to show us, if they just mentioned some single-player modes, hey, we are working on arcade mode, hey, you know, we are working on a new story mode, an updated story mode, you know, a much better story mode, you know, for the game, I think that that would be, you know, well received, personally. It's so weird to me how they keep on waiting until this game is, like, on the brink of being abandoned. And they make a small announcement to delay the abandonment just a bit longer. When if they could just announce something, when they could just announce, you know, something decent, you know, something that's like satisfying for all the people who've been waiting, just waiting all this time, that would save the game and ensure its longevity. I really just don't understand that. I was gonna talk about some of the things that they need to, like, just how good or how beneficial it would be for them to even give us a roadmap for BBTAG, but let me check the comments first because I missed a few here. Yeah, Star, I'm definitely waiting for Granblue Fantasy Versus. I know nothing about Granblue, but the game seems, you know, it looks good, obviously. It seems really interesting. On a side note, since I happened to see it earlier today, there was an article in PlayStation Magazine UK, and yeah, you know, they talked about the game a bit, both that and Fantasy Relink. And yeah, one thing I saw in there, they said that they were going to be able to have, you're going to have specials that you can perform with the press of a button. That sounds extremely simplified to me. I really hope it's not, you know, too simplified, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping that it's like a 3 or 4 button fighter. For some reason, I'm thinking that I read somewhere it said it was a 2-button fighter. I'm hoping it's a 3 or 4 button fighter personally, because that would be great. But they did specifically say that they do plan on holding tournaments for this game, so it looks like Cygames does want a competitive scene to form around the game. So, you know, we'll have to, you know, wait and see how the game, you know, turns out, how much depth it has, you know, if characters have playstyle variety, things like that. And, you know, hopefully it does turn out really well. I would love for it to turn out really well, because I do plan on picking it up. You know, the game just looks interesting, honestly. Let me see here. Wow, I missed a good amount of comments. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, alright, cool. 1 second here. Okay. Alright, so yeah, talking about the BBTAG roadmap. Yo, Nova, what's up, dude? Yeah, man, I feel the same exact way. I do want this game, I really want this game to succeed, man. I swear. if you went back and you told that crowd at EVO 2017 when the game was announced, if you went back, hold on, okay, yeah, if you went back and you told that crowd at EVO 2017 that, hey guys, a year later after this game comes out, you're still gonna only have the 4 base Ruby characters, an incomplete investigation team, and none of the main villains in the game, dude, like, the crowd, they probably wouldn't believe you, because it sounds so stupid when you think about it. It really does. Like, they probably wouldn't believe you. Either they wouldn't believe you, or, you know, the few who did would probably just, you know, they'd probably get really upset if for whatever reason they did believe it. But, I mean, if you look at it, this game had every reason to succeed. It had every reason to thrive. This game, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I mean, I don't know what to say. I really don't. Yeah, man, hopefully we do get, you know, well, if we get Senran Kagura, I know, I told you guys I really want Homura to be in the game. And yeah, hopefully we get Dengeki Bunko, because man, I really want, like, Shizuo in there. I want Tomoka in the game. Okay, if Tomoka and Junpei make it in the game, I will play that team. I will play that team for at least a solid week. If that happens, if they both make it in the game, I will play that team. Because they're like, you know, one of them plays baseball, one of them plays basketball. That would be, like, I made the joke on Twitter that would be, like, the most esports team in the game. I don't know, man. It would just be so cool to see that in the game. I would definitely try that team out. I don't even know anything about Junpei. I know that he's bad, or people say he's bad. But yeah, I would totally try that team out. Let me see here. No, we don't need Lychee in the game. No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't need a flying projectile that can come and, you know, hit me twice and then turn into something and then keep me in block stun. No, thank you. Not in this game. Alright. Okay, so talking about the BBTAG roadmap. I think that laying out a roadmap would save the game. Period. If they just gave us a roadmap, that alone would save this game. And I say this because if they reveal their plans for Season 2 of BBTAG this year, you know, then people, whatever the problems are, whatever the things are that people don't like about it, they would get their gripes out, you know, with it, you know, right then, as soon as they revealed their general plans for the year, regarding BBTAG. Like, if some people don't like the number of characters that we're getting, or, you know, if they tell us that there's only 2 Ruby characters coming, or, you know, someone has a problem with the pricing, of Season 2, since it's likely that this season will cost more than the last season, you know, since there's characters that are going to be, you know, from new franchises that they got more licenses from, and, you know, also, like I said before, how I think that there's going to be some more Ruby characters, you know, whatever the gripe may be, they'd be able to get all of them out right then. You know, they would tell people whatever, people would hear that, and I'm sure there would be gripes. Some people would have gripes, regardless, it's whatever. But I think that this would pave the way for their future character reveals to be received very positively, because they would, you know, already be past their gripes. Did the dude... I didn't even see what the dude said there. I don't know. Let me see here. Yeah, so this would pave the way for their character reveals to be received positively, or for the most part positively, because the gripes were already done and, you know, they already got that out of the way. So, for example, you know, this is an example, like, if a kid has, like, a lot of homework or something to do, but then their parents tell them they'll get, you know, they'll get ice cream or something afterwards, when they're having the ice cream later, do you think they're actually thinking about all the time they spent doing the homework? Most likely not. I think, you know, if people get upset, if they say there's only 2 Ruby characters and people get upset about it, But then the next pack is revealed, and Pyrrha is there. You know, if you're a Ruby fan, you probably love Pyrrha. And, you know, they'd probably get hype over that, even though they know that only one more Ruby character would be coming to the game, and before they had a problem with it. They still would probably, you know, be really excited about Pyrrha. And I think that this is perfect for ARC to have pretty hyped character announcements for the rest of the year, with very little downside, you know, from the point on after they give us that general roadmap. Because from that point on, it can only get more hype. You know, there'd be little to no downside as long as the long-awaited missing characters are included here in Season 2. You know, I can say that yes, I'd probably be very angry if Arachne or Izanami made it into the game, because I know, you know, that they might be busted if they make them too good in this game. But I know without a doubt that I would look past that if, like, my favorite villains, Terumi and Adachi, were added to the game too. You know, just to put it in perspective. The people who have any interest in the direction that BBTAG is going, you know, will then know that they want to stay with the game, and those who don't like what they're doing, they can drop the game. You know, they can just drop the game right then, save their time, wait for ARC's next game, or just play something else. You know, I think that that would just be best for everyone. Clear communication, you know, great for everyone to know what's going on. Alright, you know, anyway, I think that this week, sometime this week, we should be hearing something relating to the patch. Even if the patch has been delayed, they should be saying that this week just to let us know, but hopefully it's not. Yeah, Gray, dude, if Lychee and Arachne were added to the game, they would probably be an annoying combination. Okay, so yeah, then there's just a few things I wanted to talk about regarding Kill la Kill If. Now, for those of you who don't know, the first episode, the tutorial episode, pretty much, for Kill la Kill If, was just released like a day or so ago on IGN's YouTube channel, so go and take a look at that. You know, you can actually see story mode cutscenes, as well as the tutorial fight, where they explain, you know, how the game works and things like that. I was just going to give my opinions on the story mode, just a little bit that they showed off there, but of course keep in mind that this is a work in progress. Now, I want to say right off the bat that the story mode for Kill la Kill If, the animations and just the way that things look, the worst scene in Kill la Kill If looks as good as, you know, the final version of Fighter's story mode in terms of, like, the way that things move and are animated. I just wanted to put that out there first. I wanted to talk about, you know, just mention a few things that I thought kind of held back, or you know, will probably be improved by the final version of the game, but right now, it kind of holds, like, the immersion of the cutscenes back. You know, just a few things, and then, of course, to mention things that I really like about the current version, the current build of the game. So, for story mode, when the camera is panning around, the different character models, they kind of look weird, because the black outlines that are around them, you know, they kind of, like, you know, flicker and fade in and out around the characters. We see very, very little of Mako in the cutscenes. You know, she has just, like, the same expression. The little bit of time that we do see her, she just has, like, the same expression. You know, I hope that they can, you know, that they do more in terms of her expression during those little scenes like that. You know, maybe it's just me, but it's just something that stuck out to me. The really bad lip syncing hurts the experience. That's the other thing too. It's really badly lip synced with the English dub. There was a scene where Ryuko was running, and it just looked like she could be better animated. It looked a little bit sloppy. And then the action scenes too, for story mode, I think they could be animated better. And I think that more lines need to be added, in my opinion. They repeat themselves a lot in combat, and also some of the hit stun animations could be better. But also, I wanted to say, you know, to praise the game, that some of the scenes look incredible. They look straight out of the anime. They look really good. The attack animations, the gameplay for the game, it looks like really fluid, really polished. It's practically perfect, to be honest. You know, the gameplay just looks really pleasing to watch. The characters look great in combat. You know, their movement, little things like, you know, when they run around the stage, their movement looks great. Their supers look great. And I definitely think that a competitive scene could form around this game. Hopefully it does. Hopefully. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I could definitely see, you know, a competitive scene forming. I could see this being like the first major arena fighting game. I think that would be really cool to see if that did happen. Alright, I'm gonna do a few more matches here.